I'm so happy to be here with you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ooh, look at that. I was just going to say, okay. The plan for today, wow, growth and success are what came out. The plan for today is to do themed messages from Spirit. So what do I mean by that? I intended to pull one card from this Prism Oracle deck. Two came out to give the theme of the reading, and I almost I have such a it's such an uplifting sense in my belly, and almost have I almost want to cry. To be honest with you, I don't really know what that's about, but these are such beautiful cards to do a theme messages from Spirit reading on, aren't they? Growth and success. So clearly we are here today in this reading to help you move in this direction. I think to acknowledge all the growth that you have already allowed yourself to go through, that's leading more and more to your success. So there's like an acknowledgement, as with most of my readings, if you've tuned in, there seems to be like this acknowledgement energy coupled with invitation to keep going. So with that being said, we're going to pull from the tarot here and get some messages from Spirit for you at the time you find this video on this beautiful essence, which is growth and success. Oh my God, I just love that these two cards came out. I had no idea what to expect with this one. I rarely do, to be honest. Or actually never. Sometimes I have these, I always include some sort of nature element in my readings. And sometimes, I have really simple, cute flowers, and I think it's going to be like a really simple, uplifting, cute message, and then we go like deep into the depths of shadow work or something like that. So, this was such a bright, cheerful arrangement. These are actually wildflowers that I found on the side of the road yesterday, or better put, I felt like were calling me. And they're so joyful, aren't they? But I wasn't sure. And so we have this very joyful energy that comes out with this growth card and the success card. But I wasn't sure exactly what to expect. So this is one time where the essence matches the flower essence in an obvious way, at least. Okay, so here we go. We have 4 cards that came out. Let me just move these up a little bit so you can see them. How do I want to position this? Give me a second. Okay, we're going to go with this long line here, and let's begin with the only tarot card that came out upright, came out face up, and that is the 3 of Pentacles, which I just absolutely love. So there's clearly a call in this reading towards some sort of collaborations. It doesn't necessarily have to mean in your career or your creativity. It could mean, support systems within your friendships, things of that nature. But there's definitely this essence of the more you are mindful of your collaborations, connections, and communities, and the more you're cultivating. So I guess what I mean by mindful, I mean you're not just making collaborations, connections, and communities with anyone, right? So you're very mindful that those collaborations, connections, and communities that you are investing in are in alignment with the growth that you have already achieved and the success that you are wanting to achieve. Look, I'm just noticing in the success card, for whatever reason, I have never processed that this is a rainbow. Maybe just because it doesn't have the actual rainbow colors. But I think that is so interesting because I was thinking, the back of these cards are this rainbow color, and I had them all spread out to start, and I was just digging the rainbow essence. So there's definitely maybe that is what wants to be said, the growth you've already achieved that's leading to the success that you deserve. These are messages about that. So like I said before, it's important to make sure that the communities, collaborations, and connections that you're investing in are not only in alignment with the growth you've achieved, but also the success that you want. So that's what I mean by being mindful. But then there's also, I think, this call, because you have more discernment in this arena of discerning where to invest, I think then there's this like permission slip to baby step by baby step begin to invest more. So really cultivating this sense of community and collaboration around you clearly, I think is not only going to lead to more tangible success, but also it's giving me the sense that the connections and collaborations alone are going to make you feel successful, because like what is life about if it's not about being in community, in these like wise, healthy, vibrant communities that we make in all these different areas of our life, whether that's locally, whether that's virtually, whether that's in regards to your profession or in regards to your personal life. I mean, I think ideally we're all building all of that out, right? But that takes time and that takes building, but there's clearly a call to be building. And I just like love the depiction of the Three of Pentacles, because there is like a building essence to it, isn't there? Like there's a lot going on. It makes it feel like a vibrant community where everybody like understands their strengths, are utilizing their strengths, and there's a building to something that's happening. Okay, let's see what these cards are, huh? Oh my gosh, the Ten of Pentacles, the Nine of Wands, and the Seven of Swords. Okay. All right, so there's definitely, to begin with here with the Ten of Pentacles, a call to aligning your actions, aligning your connections and collaborations with your deep held values and visions. So the Ten of Pentacles to me is, typically is just such an abundant card. But what I always think about with the Ten of Pentacles is it's abundance that lasts, because it's abundance that is rooted in integrity. What is the abundance in integrity with? The abundance is integrity with the laws of the universe, the laws of Mother Nature, and the reality of your innate being, your innate self. So there's such beauty to this card. It's just like, it just screams prosperity and sustainability. It screams this robust, like ecosystem energy. Like Ten of Pentacles to me is always like, or is often, it's ecosystem, because it's not like fleeting abundance. Okay. This is abundance because you have, think of the way nature works. It's like, it's the blossoms, it's the fruit, it's the harvest, because the ecosystem is healthy and has been built over time. Okay, so there's like definitely that essence going on, which I think just like couples beautifully with the Three of Pentacles here, because we need others, we need communities, collaborations, and connections, solid, healthy communities, collaborations, and connections to build healthy ecosystems that eventually reap beautiful harvests. So there's an acknowledgement that you are aligning your actions and your connections with your values. And there's also, again, an invitation to continue to do that baby step by baby step by baby step, because it is really what that alignment, that integrity is really what true abundance is based in, or based on. And then we've got the Nine of Wands, which I actually absolutely love, because it is telling me that there's like permission to stand your ground here. And I'm just finding it interesting. Like, so we've got Pentacles, Wands, and Swords. So there's kind of a nice balance, so to speak. There's no cups, but there still feels like a nice balance in this, like a permission to kind of use different aspects of yourself to achieve more and more success. But I also am loving like this imagery here. We've got the Ten of Pentacles, which is vertical, and it feels like not only like an alignment and in integrity sort of essence, but almost like a rooted down essence, right? And then here we have the Nine of Wands, which is horizontal, and that gives me more of like a moving forward energy. And that makes sense, because I think a lot of times, or almost always, we have to stand our ground to move forward, right? Because a lot of times when we are adjusting our life to be in alignment with things that work. So again, Mother Nature's principles, Mama God's principles, and the reality of who we innately are, that's very different than how we are culturally conditioned, right? Like it's very different than like conventional advice, shall we say. And so there's always inevitably at some point, and sometimes for extended periods of time, where we're being asked to stand our ground in this integrity, right? And then I'm just finding it interesting. Look at how this depiction of the Nine of Wands, there's like one side and then the other. So it's almost giving me this like this message of like, this is how you cross over. This is how you like break through to your next level of success, is this willingness to stand your ground. And just to like clarify, when I think of standing my ground in a healthy way, it's not like toxic defensive energy. You know what I mean? Like not being open to feedback, doubling down on things that don't work. It's like knowing what works in your life and protecting that. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel the difference in that? Like it's not like toxic defense. It's I protect what works. So I just love that so much. And then we end here with the Seven of Swords, and it's like right after the Three of Pentacles. And I'm just loving this so much because the Seven of Swords to me, when it is negatively aspected, often talks to me about deceit. When it is positively aspected, it often talks to me about strategy. Okay? So the Swords energy to me represents like thinking energy, choice energy, air energy, boundaries, dynamics, things of that nature. The Wands energy to me is more fiery, passion. The Pentacles energy is like the tangible aspects of being human, how we get our nitty-gritty human needs met, time, money, labor, that kind of thing. So in terms of the Seven of Swords, I think it's like piggybacking off of this message of the Three of Pentacles, where you want to be really mindful of any connections, collaborations, or communities that are doubling down on things that don't work. Okay, so like the unhealthy version of standing your ground, right? Where there's like some sort of deceit involved, because a lot of times deceit can be unconscious to us and unconscious to the groups that we're in, right? But if something isn't working, it's not working, right? And so if there's a double down on that, then there's some sort of like deceit going on. So you're wanting to baby step by baby step divest in that, and baby step by baby step invest in places in your life and in communities and collaborations and connections where healthy strategy is being brought in, where there is, what's coming to me too is where like the strategy is serving you versus you serving the strategy. So what do I mean by that? Like that's always my kind of rule of thumb in terms of like how I structure my life. So the systems and processes that I bring in my life and the structure that I bring in. I used to be a very neurotic person. So I was very much serving the structures in my life, right? So they weren't making my life better. I was just like serving them. And so throughout my healing, I have really started to be mindful of making sure structures, strategies, systems are serving me. Are they actually like alleviating overthinking? Are they helping me get more done in a way that I enjoy? Things of that nature. So there's definitely a call here of just like looking at your structures, systems, and strategies, making sure they are serving you, and where they are not, being willing to make some adjustments and realize like that's the possibility, right? When we can move away from like deceit, so doubling down on what is not working, and move towards strategy, so doubling down on what is working. I mean, that can have a huge and life-changing effect on your life and on the level of success each of us can achieve. And I think like something else is coming to me here, and it's like, I was just having this conversation with somebody, so this might be the reason, but I feel like it's coming off the card as well. And it's this idea of like listening to points of friction in your life and or your creative work / professional work. So what I mean by that is I think a lot of times we kind of think like the points of friction are inevitable and we just have to do it anyways. We just have to push through, right? But I actually think the points of friction are more like messages that help us mold our life, mold our creative work, mold our creative ecosystems in the ways that they were intended to. So if we look at points of friction and we're like, wait, that really slows down my work, or thinking I have to do it that way, really like it affects my creativity or something like that, and thinking like, okay, maybe there's a message there that there's a different way to do it, or do you know what I'm saying? So really looking at the points of friction, and instead of just making yourself wrong, like, oh, this shouldn't be a point of friction and I should just like get over it, really seeing it more as a message that like there is a way to make it more frictionless through healthy strategy, structures, and systems. Oh my God, I'm just like loving this reading so much. It feels so joyful to me. So finally, to finish up on this Messages from Spirit reading on your growth and success, how to honor how much growth you've had, and how to achieve more success because it's what you deserve. We're going to pull a card here from the Sacred Medicine Oracle deck. Oh, I love it. It's card 17, Sacred Tears and Expression. And I just love that because 17, 1 plus 7 is 8. And 8 to me is an empowerment number. It's a number that definitely speaks to me of prosperity and abundance. And it also speaks to me of like the infinite nature of things, because like the 8 sign or the number 8 looks like an infinity sign, right? And so there is a like a beautiful, it goes back to this system, structure, and what was that strategy conversation where a lot of times infinity, what it represents to me is just being with life well. Like, because I think so much of my life, I was so overwhelmed by life because I hadn't learned the skills yet to be really a healthy individual. So I was just overwhelmed. So I was just wanting to escape life. But more and more, I'm realizing like life is about being with life. like escaping life it defeats the purpose. And I do not like mean to undermine the real overwhelm of being human at this time. So I while honoring that, I also think there's a bit of humor in the fact that like life, I think as souls, it's my belief that we wanted to have this physical experience so much, right? And so then there's just like this interesting thing that we're then just trying to escape it, right? But I think whenever I'm trying to escape something, okay, here's what I'm trying to say. Whenever I'm trying to escape something, it has become my new sort of rule of thumb to, as quickly as possible, like catch that and realize that actually, instead of trying to escape the thing I think I need to escape, what will actually work, what will actually make me feel better is getting bigger than it is. So doing the healing and contemplative work I need to do to feel like I'm bigger than it is actually where the work lies. So that is what 8 encompasses. I think it's like this beautiful, or to me at least, and I think it's like a beautiful almost summary, just that number alone of this reading. So with that said, let's read about this particular card. Card number 17, Sacred Tears. Expression. Tears hold our sacred waters, memories, essence, and medicine. Today you are invited into a healing space by the power of spirit and the ancestors. They hold you, they see you, they encourage you to express all that you have held on to so tightly. It's been a challenging time, and there is no shame in acknowledging this. Recall all the tears you have swallowed back or emotions you have pushed down, for it is time to release. So this is sort of wild because remember when I was saying that 3 of the 4 suits of the tarot came out, the pentacles, the wands, the swords, but I was like, there wasn't any cups, and cups is water, cups is emotion. So now we have kind of the essence of all 4 of those suits, which is really beautiful. So here's where this emotionality comes in, this like permission to be sad, to be happy, permission to be sad, to be successful. So realizing that like toxic positivity is not at all a component of growth or success or joy, but really this ability to be with our emotions, that idea of capacity is so huge. Okay, onward, here we are. Raw emotions and feelings are a call for love. This card is a reminder that you are worthy of taking space and time to allow for all to pass through. Let your tears fall to the earth so your sacred waters can enter the soil. As we deeply feel, we can truly heal. This time of sadness and vulnerability is essential for you to move through to the next cycle, so the next cycle can enter. The sacred tears that are held in our own body and spirit also hold the tears of your ancestors and relatives. When you shed them, you heal the past, present, and future generations. Your medicine water blesses the world. It's safe to express your emotions at this time. Release the grief and pain. Release the grief and pain, for as you do, there's more capacity for joy and ease and flow. Wow, that's what we just said, right? Sometimes these synchronicities just like blow my mind. Okay, it's a sacred ceremony. Gently place your hands over your eyes and feel the generations of love that pulse through you and to you. There are times that you held back the puddles that form in your eyes, swallowed down your truth, or wiped your tears too quickly. These moments are met with compassion and healing as your hands meet those memories. You can let go now. There's no shame in the most authentic expression of your soul. Healing affirmation. As I allow my tears to flow out of my heart and into the world, I heal deeply. Wow. I just love that so much. So two final things are coming to me. One is when I was reading that passage here about like allowing your tears to fall on the earth, I did get the sense that that might be like tangible advice. Like truly letting, spending more time in nature, spending time grounding. So like shoes and socks off, feet touching the earth. If tears come, like wiping the tears, putting them on the earth. For some reason that felt like actual advice. If it's uncomfortable or doesn't happen that you cry in nature, like I think just being in nature is huge. I kept thinking about this time where actually it wasn't by a waterfall, but it was a time in my life that was very difficult for many reasons. And I spent a lot of time sitting by a river, a lot of time. And sometimes I would just sit there, sometimes I would meditate, sometimes I would cry, sometimes I would read, sometimes I would journal. But it was so healing. The being in nature alone. And isn't it interesting, like, I put this card right on the Three of Pentacles, and they almost like kind of have similar, oh my gosh, wow. So I was just thinking of the colors, like how there's that green, beautiful green color and the blue color. But there's also like, look at how there's similarities, like just right in the middle here. Here's the waterfall, here's that rectangle right in the middle. And so what I was going to say is, I think there's a call to collaborate with nature in your process as well. So we talked a lot about the Three of Pentacles being a collaboration card, right? But I think beyond just collaborating with other humans and creating community with other humans, there's this call to seeing nature itself, nature herself, as a collaborative partner who wants to work with you more and more in your own unique way. Wow, I just love that. I love that so much. So the final thing that is coming to me is this. Let me show it to you. It's on my phone here. Let's see if you can see it. Oh my gosh, isn't that beautiful? So beautiful. I just love it so much. Okay. So this comes from Kelly Kaladny's work. I will link her YouTube channel up in the description box of this video. If you go to her website, you can download this for free and you can print it off. You can do as I'm doing, put it on the back of your, or the wallpaper of your phone. So what she calls this is the Mother Source Code Grid. And I think the reason I'm thinking of it is that infinity sign right in the middle. You know what I mean? So we were talking about the number 8 and being with the essence of life. She, at one point, so Kelly channels an entity known as Archangel Raphael. And you may or may not believe in that. What I always think about with channeling is, regardless of like the interesting story around the channeler, the interesting story around the quote unquote entity that they channel, I would just, get down to brass tacks and I'm like, is their information helpful to me? So what I found with Kelly's work is it has been incredibly helpful, super kind, super helpful, super enlightening in my life. So she said once in her channelings relatively recently, it was like the Mother Source Code Grid is in place. And I don't even know if she knew what it meant. I didn't know what it meant, but I was like, hell yeah, it is. And it gave me so much relief, like with so much going down in the world collectively and each of us in our personal lives, I was like, okay, but the Mother Source Code Grid is in place. So to me, what it means is just like, there is enough awakening happening with each of us on a personal level and a collective level that it's going to be really hard to mindlessly repeat atrocities from the past. Like we're slowly starting to evolve, right? Like there is a kindness that is present that maybe hasn't been ever or for a very long time here on planet Earth, right? And so there's like this just this like light code essence that whether like who knows what's actually happening, right? Like the truth can be stranger than fiction. So whether that like actual light code is in place, right? Or it's just an idea, I'm just finding the concept to be so powerful, and I'm finding it so powerful to be like actually looking at this artwork every time I open my phone. Like not only is it just beautiful, but there is an uplifting aspect to it for me. So with that all being said, if this is not too crazy for you / too messy for you to understand, it felt like it came out a little messy. But I would encourage you, if this is resonating and you're intrigued, to go look up Kelly's work and potentially go download that Mother Source Code artwork and do whatever you feel called to do with it, because it's been a really gentle but powerful and uplifting practice in my life. And I feel like it resonates with this card, the Sacred Tears card, because we talked about the number 8 and the infinity sign, but also because this is definitely this call to collaborate with nature. And almost like what we said at the beginning of this reading, like, what are we integrity with? Well, what works is when we're integrity with the laws of Mother Nature, the laws of Mama God, so universal laws, and then the reality of our innate beings, right? And so I think when we can like surrender to maybe like templates that are in place for us, whether they are like literal light codes that are surrounding us or just this idea of that, I think it can be really powerful. And it can be this idea of being held. You know what I mean? Where there's like, well, isn't it interesting too in this card? Look at how there's almost like light around her. Because it can just be this like, it can be just such a crazy journey to be human right now, right? And so like there's so much to learn and there's so much to do, there's so much to correct. And sometimes it's nice to know that we're held even when we don't know it, right? And so that idea of like, okay, just like affirming the Mother Source Code Grid is in place. Even if I don't totally know what that means, but it's like, okay, divine feminine is coming back. It means like kindness is the order of things, and that is going to be known. Like that's the kind of things it's starting to mean for me more and more. And so it's almost like so it's like an affirmation I can use to know I'm being held, but then there's like power in it too, right? Where it's like every time I affirm that, I feel like it's kind of rippling that recipe out into the energetic field. of more and more people picking it up in their own ways. Like they might not say the mother source code is in place, but they might say like, you know, kindness is the order of the universe, or start treating people in different ways, or vote in different ways where that is where different priorities are being acknowledged. And so I think there's such beauty to this reading. Like it was there's a complexity to it that I love, but there's a joyfulness to it that I love. But it's like we got the Sacred Tears to finish it off, which is more of like a grief card, right? So there is like permission to be human in this. It's not like fleeting joy. It's not fleeting abundance. There's a real balanced, rooted, real essence here of somebody surrendering to their humanness, not trying to be perfect, surrendering to their humanness, and in that growing and achieving more success because you're aligning with who you're actually intended to be and with the things that work. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for tuning in.